check that one out when she does and send the love as well. This evening, the prompt is, should Christians promote women's rights? Panelists, do I have any final questions from you? No? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'd actually like Torsia to kick us off. Oh, wait, did you still want to kick us off this evening, or did you want to wait?
I want to wait.
Okay, you want to wait. Well, let's go ahead and start with Fairy Queen then. Let's start left to right. We'll start with Fairy Queen. Your opening statement, please.
Sure. I'm going to keep it very brief because I'd like to quickly get to the opening. So my thesis tonight is, one, I think that Christians should promote women's rights. I think the question is, the question of, what rights we promote and what rights we don't promote. I think that depends on your conception of, one, what is a right, why do people deserve to have rights, and ultimately the Venn diagram that occurs between the rights that are allotted to secular people, the rights that Christians believe that Christians should have, and I think that there is a significant amount of overlap between these two different positions. And where that overlap lies, I think that Christians should promote women's rights insofar as it aligns and coheres with their principles. I don't think that you can have duties without the rights that enable you to perform them. I suspect that we're going to get into a big conversation about what are rights. But I don't want to only talk about that. So I'll finish with that, and then I'll finish with a series of questions of some terms I think that we really need to hash out. One, what is a Christian? What does that mean? And I understand that that everyone here comes from a different religious background. I understand some people here are devoutly faithful. I understand it, but it's simply the case that Christian is an umbrella term, and there are lots of different denominations that fall underneath this umbrella. And the difficulty, even for Christians to decide which rights to promote and what rights not to promote, is going to depend on what denomination that you fall into. So what does it mean to be a Christian? What are rights? I suspect we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. I don't want to get too wrapped up into the essence of the question. Are we talking about legal rights or natural rights? Do women's rights differ from men's rights? And if so, how? Or should they? And finally, and I think this goes back to the beginning of the statement, which is, should Christians promote women's rights? Okay, promote. Does that mean legal advocacy? Does that mean debate, cultural advocacy? What does that actually mean? What does that actually look like? And I will leave it there.
Wonderful. Fatty, to you.
Good evening or good morning for me. I'm just glad to be here between savvy debaters. I just think Christians should do it because that's what Christ would want them to do. I think Christ, if Christ was alive and well in 2024, it would be for Christians to actually fight for or advocate for women's rights. So that's my opening statement. Yes, they should.
Simple and to the point. Portia, to you.
So they kind of already do promote rights, but I don't think they should promote them anymore. I'm just going to keep it at that.
Simple and easy. And Andrew, last but not least.
Yeah, so let's dive into a few things. I think it's really nice that Fairy Queen says, well, I don't really want to get bogged down on ABC. Who gives a shit what you want to get bogged down on, right? Semantics are important in an argument. It's irrelevant to me what you want to get bogged down and not get bogged down on. I think that these are important questions that you bring up, right? But you don't get to lead what the topic is because you just don't want to talk about certain things, right? So for one thing, I think it's hilarious when secularists say anything about rights, as secularists can only just kind of make shit up as they go. They don't have any epistemic foundation whatsoever for what a right is, other than, oh, it's some made-up bullshit that makes me feel good, right? They can't justify it at all, not even a little bit. So when they say Christians ought to do anything ever, I reject it categorically, because for one thing, she just said she doesn't even know what a Christian is, right? There's many different denominations, but we can fire back the same way. Well, even as an agnostic.